Fast forward to 2008, you had your first breast cancer recurrence, but you read a book called Anticancer by Dr. David Servan-Schreiber,
Yes,
which was a huge game changer for you,
indeed.
um,
Yes.
as it was for me. But how so for you?
Well, it was fascinating. Sometimes things kind of come together in life in strange ways. I actually met David Servan-Schreiber before the book was even published. And he was a friend of a friend. It was just a strange thing. And he gave me a copy of The Galleys. So
Wow.
I read The Galley, and at the same time, he ended up becoming a friend of ours, and my husband and myself, and we knew him pretty well before he died. We actually saw him a month before he died over in France. But he became a friend and a guide for the early stages of developing the Anticancer Lifestyle Program. And the reason that had such an impact on me is because when I found out my cancer was metastatic, because in 2008 I got a bone met in my iliac crest, which is, I always joke, this is how cancer patients learn anatomy, is because you get cancer in places you've never heard of before. So I found out that was part of my hip, my hip bone, and they radiated it successfully at that time. It was successful, but I got really freaked out. There's some people who react even more strongly to finding out later, when they get a second recurrence or metastatic disease than they did initially. And that was me. It was like, oh my God, this thing is metastatic. It could kill me. I need to do something. So I talked to my doctor. I love my oncologist, but again, he only knows about treatment options. That's what he's trained to know, and that's all he knows. And I said, Doc, what should I do? Is there something I can do? Is there some way I could participate in my own well-being here? And he said, Meg, just go home and keep your stress level down, and I'll see you in 6 months for your scan. Which I learned later was sort of the response. I don't know if you got the same response, but most cancer patients I know, that's, they get some version of that. And I just thought, my God, there must be something I can do. There must be some way I can participate in this process. And so that's exactly when I met Dr. Servan-Schreiber, David, who became a friend, and read his book. And so it hit me at a time when that's exactly what I was looking for. It was so helpful to get evidence-based information about how I could reduce my risk moving forward. That's all I wanted to know. Because when I got my metastatic recurrence, I got so many emails and people sent me stuff in the mail. You got to take this supplement and this and this. I had no idea what was valid. And I went looking online. And of course, there's a swamp online, as we all know, and you don't know what's validated. So David's book was just like the clouds parted, and that book dropped into my life, and he dropped into my life. And I was so grateful for it that I approached our local cancer center and I said, hey, why don't we start a course to teach people about these lifestyle changes and these lifestyle benefits that may reduce their risk moving forward. And they were game. And so we worked on it for a year, excuse me. We launched it in 2011 with, 25 different cancer survivors. And it ran for 10 years until COVID. But by then we put it all online. So we were able to sort of scoop it up.